This is a video intended for the group that owns Wabanaki. Monty and I had our first competition for the year. We were in miserable conditions at Pine Top Horse Trials this morning. It absolutely poured with rain the last 24 hours, so it was very, very wet and muddy, and I wanted just to get Monty out and about. We've taken him to a couple show jumping days just to get him off the farm, but this is sort of his first proper competition. Had a good week's training this week. Jumped him on Tuesday and he jumped really, really well. I tried a slightly different bit which I used today that seemed to keep him a little bit steadier in his mouth and for the jumping. Obviously we're just in a snaffle here for the dressage, but it worked out quite well. It's sort of what they call a happy mouth bit, which almost keeps his frame up and out a little bit jumping, and I've decided that seems the most comfortable place to try and position Monty's head and neck as he's jumping. So this is obviously the dressage. I mean, to be quite honest, Monty can go a lot better than this. We're still, we had him going really, really well towards the end of last year, and we're obviously spending a lot of time with fitness work and jumping at the moment, and I've got to improve him just a bit more in the dressage. By saying that, the judges actually liked him, really liked him. I mean, I was a little bit disappointed with how he went on the flat. I thought he could have been a little bit lighter, a little bit more uphill, and slightly more balanced at the end of the extendeds, but the judge gave me a 30, which was only 1 point behind my other horse, Luke, and Luke is sort of 2 years ahead of Monty in his training, so it was I was quite impressed. Well, the judge was quite impressed. I think there's still 5 more marks to be made here. I think Monty presents a pretty nice picture to the dressage judge. He's a nice, big, beautiful horse. He's in good shape and good condition at the moment. And I was a little bit brave starting Monty first event open intermediate, but it worked out all right. Monty, obviously, he's been going intermediate for most of last year. He's still a green horse at this level. This is, the open intermediate level to me is the sort of first level that it's the real deal, if you know what I mean. And I was quite surprised how difficult the cross-country course was and how long it was. It was a 6-minute course, and I was thinking that the first intermediate of the year they'd make it a little bit easy, but it had everything. It had a couple turning questions, it had 2 or 3 corners, a couple skinnies, coffin, 3 waters. Monty was a good boy. We got some footage of the cross country at the end of this video. So obviously what I've been working really hard at Monty is trying to keep him round and soft but uphill. He either wants to get a little bit low and a little bit round sometimes with his frame, which is keeps him supple, but then he's a bit downhill, so it's sort of a catch-22. Yeah, yesterday and the day before, actually, I worked him with FEI judge Peter Gray. Peter is one of the top FEI judges, judging at the 4-star level here in America and internationally, and I had him up and he just helped me work through. I mean, Peter's a very good rider as well, so he's sort of, the first day was sort of half training and some of the exercises to get Monty going well, and then yesterday was our main focus was the test work, and it was good actually. There was a lot of things that Peter picked on me about in the test, a little bit the frame, the positioning. He wanted to see a little bit more bend and angle in the shoulder ends, and obviously I'm trying to get him back after the extended canter a little bit more balanced. But saying that, it was an exercise well worth doing, because I think wouldn't have done as well today if I didn't work with Peter the last couple of days, sort of priming up for this competition. You see in a moment, Monty did a good round of show jumping. There's still a couple of the fences that he could have a nicer shape to, and it's part me. I get a little bit nervous on him and pick him up a bit too much, and it sort of lifts his head and neck up, and he loses the roundness in his jump. Saying that, clear's clear, and it was a tough course because it was bloody muddy as well. Like, it absolutely poured with rain last night and this morning, and I was soaking wet, and so it was testing conditions. So take my hat off to Monty, because it's so much easier jumping on beautiful white sand with fibre in it compared to the grass. But some of these big shows are running on grass, so it's something that is probably a good thing to practice now and then. I feel like Monty's a bit sharper and a little bit more careful this year. You know, and he's a little bit spooky horse. He doesn't like other horses coming near him. So sometimes the warm-up in the show jumping's challenging. And but he was a good boy. To be quite honest, he was a little bit green in the cross-country, greener than I thought, and it was sort of half of it was because it was the first event of the year, and then the other half is he's still a green horse. He's a little bit looky at the ditches in the coffin. I mean, he jumped everything clean and clear, but I could still feel that he needs more mileage and experience at this sort of 3-star intermediate level. Good. And I'm pretty happy with that round, because he's a sort of horse that jumps really well, but I've often had 1 rail or 2 rails down on him, so it's good to go clear. This is the cross country. Monty is a great galloper. The conditions are a bit muddy and a bit wet, and Monty was a good boy. He doesn't mind the mud. He was sort of the 3rd horse that I rode around this course. About the 3rd horse, he starts sort of feeling which corners or turns are slippery and which jumps right well, and Monty was a good boy. So I think what I'll do is I'll try and enter Monty for another competition, probably in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time. I'll just give him a nice easy couple of days, let him make sure he's over this well, and then I think we should take him to a dressage show on Sunday, just because I think that's the area I need to improve him, and the jumping and the cross country is on the right path, and for him to be a great horse, I think I've got to work hard at trying to get this dressage just a little bit smoother. So at the moment everything's going to plan, and I'm glad to get this first event under our belt.